Good morning, world. You now in tune to the greatest, the awakening. Real Talk 101, the Gangsters channel. Today's subject will be of two topics, and we will tie it all together into one segment. Now, why, for some of you would like to know, why do we talk about the white man? This is one reason why. Because all of a sudden you're ready to tune it out now. You don't want to hear it. Why do we say that the Lord is going to destroy this man? And I'm going to dive into a couple fragments of why, not only for having their hands and what they're doing to us, but if this man don't be destroyed and brought out of his hands, because many of you are in his hands, so the Lord has to come and take him and possibly destroy him, because as long as this man exists, we will always forever be in rebellion against our God. We'll be in rebellion against him towards what he wants and what he required of us. So this is why he has to destroy this man, because as long as this man exists, our rebellion against the Lord will exist. A lot of these things that this man has put out, and we have gobbled it up, and he's doing it on purposely. For example, we all love pork, right? So now, with this being said, the white man has flooded the markets with pork and have made it a delicacy among our plate. That's just an example. Holidays. He keeps you into the holidays. He keeps infatuating you into a lot of things that our God has forbidden us to be a part of. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because as long as this man is in the way, we will never be where we need to be. So God has to destroy him. And a lot of you will have sympathy. I've heard stories where even the prophets speaking on the white man has offended many of you. God has to destroy this man, because he has caused a rebellion among his 12 tribes. He has caused them to be against each other, be at arms against each other, hate each other, despise each other, and has formed a way that you worship the white man and his image. God has to destroy him. And this is the reason why, because if this man is not destroyed, when you heard that the Lord is coming for his people, we can tie that in together. Because this man has to be destroyed. Because if he don't destroy it, he will forever keep us in rebellion against our God, against the Most High. So he has to destroy him. And a lot of you in the Lord's camp of his people, you will hate him for that. You will hate the idea of the Lord doing such thing. Why? Because you have made him, not God, But you have made the white man your God. That's why. So he has to destroy him. And quite frankly, he's going to destroy some of you all too. Because the abomination of that stench that have made you turn against your brother and have worshiped this man, it is a disgusting smell. It is a disgusting sight to behold this. I'm looking at this. It's an abomination. And when Christ hit the scene, he was exploiting the love for the poor people, for those who have been oppressed, for those who have been marketed, for those who have been used and abused and tricked and all manner of evil. He understood what was going on because God revealed to him. So by that being said, his compassion among his people, he didn't find any fault in them. But he did find fault in those busters and those coons that we have today. They need to pull their pants up. They always doing this. Oh man, I can't stand. You hear the talks. But yet, they have dismissed what have gotten us to where we are now, at a fucked up stage. And a lot of you are so self-righteous because you think what we're doing, black people in general, is unrighteous, when you yourself is unrighteous. In your righteousness, you think that you Mr. Good or so-and-so. But God said the only way you are righteous if you follow his statutes and commandments and his laws. That's what make you righteous. So the same people telling them to pull their pants up and, oh, I can't stand black people or all this other stuff, you're eating pork. You see? Oh, I can't stand, they always cussing. Ugh, don't cuss around me. But you're eating pork. They always drinking wine. But you're eating pork. And I'm giving you that example. Because in the law, God said you couldn't drink wine. But he did say, don't eat pork or the swine. So when you divide the line, which one of you are unrighteous towards God? The man who's drinking wine, who doesn't go to church or who doesn't see himself as being a righteous person, but he likes to drink wine. But you who see yourself as a righteous person, going to church, blah, 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 but you're eating pork. Drop a bomb, nigga. So in God's eyes, who is righteous and who is unrighteous? The one who is unrighteous is the ones who's eating that pork because the Lord say don't eat that swine. Just giving you an example. So when you look at us and say that how bad we are because of the situation that we're in that has caused us to become this way, you're celebrating Christmas. You're eating pork. You're celebrating holidays. All these things the Lord said don't be a part of, you are doing. So who is righteous and who is unrighteous? If you don't keep those laws and commandments that the Lord gave you, you are unrighteous. And I'm just saying. So now you see, Israel, I'm coming for you. Let me get back to you. But we want to talk about those who, of like the Bill Cosbys. Y'all niggas need to pull y'all pants up and go flip them burgers if you got to flip them burgers. But yet, like Taz brought out, while he was making all his money, what was he doing? To contribute, to conform young males to pull their pants up and all that. You see, all this is doing is getting you all, when you hear people saying that, this is all it's doing is getting people to make you submit to the people they worship. They trying to get you to submit to have the same likeness and the spirit of a Buster and a Coon, to where you will worship these people and you're not supposed to worship them people. I hear the talks. I hear all the Busters and the Coons got something to say. This is why our history is very important to know about, because maybe we're fucked up because of what they've been doing under our noses that has contributed to our being the way that we are. Sometimes we get people from the islands who say so and so, and I realize that some of them haven't been in those situations where people brought drugs in, guns in, and they don't understand that. So I advise some of you to go and look at the Willie Lynch letter and a lot of this other stuff that they got up, showing this stuff that they've been doing to us. Hell, I got a video to be shown right on my page, on my YouTube channel, with the Jesus Christ in front of it, the fake Jesus Christ in front of it. You need to go look at that. Because maybe a lot of this, us being the way we are, has been brought to us in that aspect of what has happened. But a lot of you want to discredit that. You want to dismiss that, right? You don't want to hear it. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Well, there ain't going to be no excuse when the Lord bring that judgment down on y'all for the spirit of being attached to this society, to this place. And maybe it's good that the Lord has kept us away from this society of abominations. Maybe he has kept us in this hole to keep us from this ratchet place that you all love. You love homosexualities and the homosexuality, but you hate the niggas. You love when the cops kill us and speak all manner of evil towards us, but you hate the niggas. You despise the niggas, right? So maybe it's good that God has kept us into this separation in that aspect to not bring us a part of this. And some of you have contributed your lives to be a part of it. You have fought your way out of it to be a part of it. So you're going to be destroyed too, in some kind of way. And when we say destroyed, it ain't necessarily mean killed or of that aspect, but just brought down to a lower level. So we don't get the confused of promoting violence and stuff, because destroy can mean bring you down to the lowest, to the least. You will look at those who went to prison and say, well, they deserve to go to prison. They were selling drugs. And you will have a pride and a justice type of attitude about it. But when you hear about the molesters molesting children, you don't have that same energy towards them. Meanwhile, those same drug dealers who you think deserve to be in prison, they looking at this person coming in, molesting children, raping children as the scum of the earth. And they apparently kill him while you giving him a pass. So you are unrighteous in the form of you're unrighteous to the Lord. And this is what it means that your own righteousness is like filthy rags. Because we understand what righteous is, and the Lord told us, to him what is righteous is keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Anything else is filthy rags, self-righteousness. You know, you see these athletes with all this money, they build these little schools, you know, whatever, these little programs to let kids play football and all this other stuff. I see them as being slave catchers for the white man, to contribute more their talents into their kingdom, to make their kingdom more successful. Because after all, when these ball players and athletes make much money, they're not trying to buy the block. They're not contributing their money to the tore down hoods that they came from to try to rebuild it up and produce housing for the same people that they came out of. No. They're contributing their riches to the other side, who apparently don't need it. So when you think about seeing these athletes making these gyms and football fields, and you got all these niggas out here playing football for the, you know, the kids and all that, this is what it is. When you see people like Puff Daddy, who was called a slave catcher, and he catches the athletes, and not athletes but the rappers, and get them to sign their publishing so he can give them to the record label. And that's why they can't get it back, because he has gave it to the people who he worked for. You see? Israel. What are you waiting for? Let's get it. A lot of you have a problem, in my opinion, with the ISUPK. Where you came from. But for some reason, you're not on that team. I'm wondering. You know what? I'm not even going to go there yet. But let's talk about this. Israel, what are you waiting for? You supposed to be praying, because I see our destruction ahead. These nations and these people in power is planning on to do what they're doing, and we seeing it. Why are you not praying to the Most High to save us? Think about Egypt. They were calling. What was they doing before the Lord came down? There's also a scripture for my people who will humble themselves and who are called by my name and humble themselves and pray. I will hear what's wrong. It's time for you to pray for the destruction of these other nations. You are here. You're doing what you're in the fold supposed to be doing. Don't get too comfortable in the state that you're in. Call upon the Lord. Pray for the whole nation of Israel, that God come and save us. You need to make that a priority, and to keep praying, to keep sending those prayers up, because eventually it's gonna come down. But I don't believe many of you doing it. What are you waiting for? You're here. These people are planning on destroying us. And we see that we're getting no love from no other nations. This is the time that the prayer goes up. God, save us. Save us from what this destruction that the other nations are planning on and preparing to do to us. What are you waiting for? Is it Egypt again? Then you pray, because after all, he's the only one that's going to save us. Pray to the Most High to destroy these nations, to bring them down. Pray to the Most High to save us. Save us, oh God, save us. If all of you come together and make that prayer, we can bring the Lord down. We can do it. You're getting too comfortable in the estate that you're in. And yes, you're doing the right thing by doing what you're doing out, bringing this word, waking the brothers up, waking the sisters up, waking Israel up. But of course, there are some in rebellion, of course. But you're doing what you're supposed to do now. It's time for you to pray to the Most High to save us. Save us, oh Lord, save us. What are you waiting for? Israel, holla.